Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If your income disappeared tomorrow, how long would your current lifestyle survive? Not your job title, not your LinkedIn profile, not the apartment, the car, the vacations, just the lifestyle itself. Would it continue for 6 months? Or would it quietly collapse within 30 days? Most middle-class professionals in the United States and Europe don't actually know the answer. And that's not because they're irresponsible. It's because many of us confuse maintaining a lifestyle with building wealth. And those are two very different things. Let's walk through a normal scenario. You're 28 years old. You live in a major U.S. city, maybe somewhere like Chicago, or in Europe, perhaps London. You earn $85,000 a year. Sounds solid. After taxes, healthcare, and contributions, you're taking home roughly $5,000 per month. That feels like progress, especially compared to your college years. Now let's look at where that $5,000 goes. Rent in a decent area, $2,000. Car payment, $550. Insurance and fuel, $250. Student loan payment, $400. Groceries, $600. Utilities and phone, $300. Subscriptions and memberships, $100. Dining out, travel savings, social life, $600. You're now at $4,800. That leaves $200. $200 between stability and stress. From the outside, you look successful. You have independence. You're not living paycheck to paycheck in the dramatic sense, but financially, you're walking on a narrow ledge. And here's the important part. Nothing in that budget is extreme. There's no reckless gambling, no designer obsession, no irrational splurging, just normal modern life. So where's the mistake? The mistake isn't overspending. It's mistaking consumption for progress. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. Every major expense in that budget is designed to preserve a lifestyle, not build assets. Your rent preserves location and comfort. Your car preserves convenience and image. Your dining budget preserves social belonging. Your subscriptions preserve entertainment and identity. But none of them increase your ownership of future income. They simply maintain your current experience. There's nothing morally wrong with that, but financially, it creates a fragile structure. Let's run simple math. Your car costs $550 per month. That's $6,600 per year. If you keep it for 5 years, that's $33,000, not including insurance or interest. At the same time, if you invested $550 per month at a modest 7% annual return for 5 years, you'd have roughly $39,000. The difference isn't just the $33,000 you spent, it's the ownership you never built. And most people never feel this loss because lifestyle spending feels normal. It feels deserved. Which brings us to the psychological layer. Humans are wired for social comparison. In the US and across Europe, most financial decisions aren't made in isolation. They're made relative to peers. If your colleagues upgrade apartments, you start questioning yours. If your friends finance new cars, your fully paid vehicle begins to feel outdated. If everyone travels twice a year, staying home feels like falling behind. This isn't stupidity, it's status alignment. We don't just want comfort, we want proportional comfort. And when income rises, lifestyle rises almost automatically. This is lifestyle inflation. But here's the subtle danger. Lifestyle inflation grows fixed costs, and fixed costs reduce flexibility. Let's say your expenses climb from $4,800 to $5,300 because you move to a better place and upgrade your car. Now your margin disappears entirely. Any disruption, job loss, illness, economic downturn, becomes a crisis. You're earning well, but you're exposed. This is why so many professionals earning $90,000 to $120,000 still feel financially anxious, not because they lack intelligence, but because they built a high-maintenance life before building assets. Now let's zoom out 15 years. If someone consistently invests $1,000 per month starting at 30, earning an average 7%, they'll have roughly $310,000 by 45. Not flashy wealth, but meaningful ownership. That capital produces options, career flexibility, negotiating power, reduced stress, time autonomy. But if that same $1,000 went toward incremental lifestyle upgrades, larger apartment, better car, higher recurring expenses, the visible lifestyle improves while long-term leverage stays flat. And this is the core conflict. Lifestyle gives immediate emotional return. Wealth gives delayed structural return. Most people choose the first because it's visible. Financially intelligent people choose the second because it's stabilizing. Notice something important. The wealthy mindset isn't extreme frugality. It's asymmetry awareness. They ask a different question. Does this expense lock me into higher fixed costs, or does it increase my future freedom? For example, instead of upgrading apartments immediately after a raise, they may hold expenses steady for 2 years. Instead of stretching into a $40,000 car loan, they buy something reliable and redirect the difference into index funds. Not because they hate comfort, but because they understand sequencing. First, build the asset base. Then expand lifestyle from surplus, not from fragile income. There's also a deeper system effect. Modern economies are designed around consumption. Credit is frictionless. Financing is normalized. Car ads don't show price, they show monthly payments. Housing isn't framed as cost, it's framed as what you deserve. Even social media amplifies visible lifestyle markers. Very few platforms celebrate quiet balance sheets, so people measure progress through what can be seen: apartment aesthetics, travel photos, vehicles, restaurants. But wealth grows invisibly at first, and that invisibility makes it psychologically difficult. It feels like sacrifice, even when it's actually strategy. Now, here's the calming part. You don't need to reject modern life. You don't need extreme austerity. The shift is conceptual. Instead of asking, "Can I afford this payment?" ask, "What does this payment replace in my future?" Because every $500 obligation competes with future ownership, and ownership is what reduces anxiety. Ownership is what buys time. Ownership is what separates stable from stretched. If your entire lifestyle depends on uninterrupted employment, you're funding a lifestyle. If part of your income steadily buys assets that generate independent return, you're building wealth. The difference isn't visible in your 20s, but it becomes obvious in your 40s. One person feels financially trapped despite earning well. The other feels structurally calm. Same income bracket, different allocation. This isn't about guilt. Most people weren't taught to think this way. They were taught to climb income ladders, not to analyze fixed cost ratios. But awareness changes behavior, and behavior compounds quietly over time. So the next time your income increases, pause. Before upgrading your life, ask whether you've strengthened your base, because lifestyle feels like progress, but ownership is progress. If this perspective helped you think a little more clearly about your money, consider subscribing for more calm, rational conversations about how modern finances really work.